You'll have to forgive the chatter next door. I believe they're having some sort of a fiesta, and you'll have to forgive me for I have some sort of a cold. It's actually a man cold, and it is miserable, as any man cold is. Men know this. It's bad. So recently, the little blue Jeep, Rosie affectionately as she's called, got new tires. That means it's pretty much roadworthy. And for the longest time, it was registered and titled in the state of New Mexico, which is where I'm from. However, I reside in Utah now. It's been off the road, so I haven't really done anything with it. Yesterday, I went to the DMV, had the VIN inspection done, came back clear because I own it. I don't know why they want to inspect VINs when I have a title that's in my name already. But yeah, new Utah title, and I was able to do the YOM plates as well. So I'm sad to see my New Mexico plate go because New Mexico plates are beautiful, and that one was blue and it was just beauty. But that's an issue. So check this out. I'll stick this one here. This is a New Mexico license plate from back in the day. That one's from 1955, but they're the same size from like, I don't know, at least 1947, because there's a 47. This is a Utah 48 plate. You can see, so I don't know, 2/3 is, not quite 2/3 as wide as a New Mexico plate. I guess back in that era, they didn't standardize license plate sizes or shapes, because 47 Tennessee, there's a 48 Tennessee. They're shaped like the state of Tennessee, so Kim wants to move to Tennessee again. I mean, I'll miss New Mexico, I'll miss the West, but at least I get a cool license plate because they do YOM as well. So the other issue is you get a new sticker to put on this because these were, 1 year only plates. You get a new one every year. So with the stickers, we have to place them somewhere. I don't like sticking them to the plates. I think it looks tacky. New Mexico DMV did that to my 47 plate on the big Jeep, and I thought it looked dumb, so I did something different on the little Jeep. I have a plate that sits here to hold the sticker. On the big Jeep in Utah, I made an aluminum holder that the plate bolts to and has a little spot for the sticker to go to. So I did something similar for the Utah plate for the little Jeep. This has offset ears to mount to the jerry can holder, leave room for the strap to go through, and a spot right here for the registration stickers, current registration stickers to sit. Covers up the state and the friendly state, but it is what it is. But anyway, come along with me while we make this, license plate holder. Come on. So naturally, design is an important thing to have. I'm pretty fortunate I have SolidWorks. And I'm not just running a bootleg copy from school. I actually have my own license for it through my business. So yeah, it's pretty neat. This is the backing plate from the big Jeep. This actually has spacers behind it on all four sides to space it off of the ribs on the tailgate. You can see this comes down here to hold the registration sticker. Pretty simple part, right? Just 1/8 inch aluminum, at least, yeah. This one is drawn as 1/8 inch. I cut this one out of 1/16. However, the one for little Jeep will be 1/8 inch because I had to bend it. So I took that other drawing, modified it. This is what little Jeep has on it right now. These little pieces to mount it to the jerry can holder with little offset bends to bring it away from the strap of the jerry can holder. So again, literally just one extrusion. Here's my sketch of it. I'm sure some other design engineer out there would be like, oh my God, look at that. I'm not a design engineer, so, but I make it work. So there it is. And then I didn't sketch my bumps or anything, whatever. I'm not that dedicated to it. It's not that important. And then there's a little registration holder. So, fillets on one side, bend, drawn sheet metal. So it gets bent and then gets cut shorter on the bandsaw. So has to have this extension leg, or this leg here, longer so that it can spread the distance of the bottom die of the press brake. Otherwise, if I wanted, because it's just like a 1/4 inch from here to here, it's just like a 1/4 inch, right? If I didn't have that, I couldn't make this bend. So I have to have this support material that just gets cut off later. So let's go make some stuff. So I've got all of my parts imported into Plasma Cam. This thing is ancient, to say the least. It's old printer cables, what they run off of. This machine's pretty finicky for me. You know, we're running Windows XP, so solitaire. I also think that I have pinball on it. Let's see, I can barely see my screen, it's so dusty. Games, pinball. There's a blast from the past. Except we just froze our computer. Oh, nope. Yep, there it is. Anyway, so we'll select our part, machine. I've already got all my parameters in there, which I know a lot of people are like, oh, I know how to do this. Well, the manual has a lot of really good information in it too. Some engineers spent a lot of time sitting there going, huh, how's this work? So let's see if it actually cuts it. All right, there's our first piece. Now I'll retool for the second piece, or I guess move my. It's two pieces of material on there, so I need to figure out where this one is on the other piece, because the other piece already has stuff cut out of it. So basically what I've done here is driven my torch to a point where I know it's going to be good to put that part on the material. So if my torch is sitting up there in a blank spot, because I didn't save that last file. Well, I'm sure I did, but I'm too lazy to look for it because I'm sick and I don't feel like doing it. So we'll select that. Get our keyboard back out here. We're going to move that part over until it hits that, coordinate. And we got to reset up. So on our machine control here, we're going to go ahead and go to, for material that's an 1/8 inch, we want 0.4 seconds for a pierce. Our cutting speed needs to be, wow, that would cut way slow on that other material. It needs to be 170, because I forgot to save it apparently. Cutting speed, oh, because I put my rapid speed in as 220 anyway. We're fine, doesn't hurt anything, it just went slow, okay. And then I'm going to figure out my Z0. I'm going to bring the torch down until it touches. Yeah, right there. 0 or a torch. Z shift 0. Okay. And machine and cut. Another part. So for the easy part of deburring these pieces off the plasma table, I'll use dual action sander and a piece of cardboard. And I learned a while ago to use a piece of cardboard on your table to keep it from scratching even worse. That's how soft the aluminum is. So what we'll do, get our parts on there and just buzz them down. Deburring aluminum is so much easier than steel, but that cardboard helps on that. It looks like I have a little bit of a discrepancy right there, just from the plasma cutter, so I'll just take that off real quick on the belt sander. then come back with the dual action again. Never actually checked to make sure that the license plate will fit on this, but I'm sure it'll be fine. No big deal. So now for this little guy over here, still got a little burr. This gets welded on at an angle to hold the registration stickers, because I don't want to stick the registration stickers directly onto the plate. So I don't like the way it looks. And if I ever get rid of the plate's still clean. So this, we got to bend it at 90 over in the press brake. Actually, we could probably just do it in the mill vise. But I'll scribe my line and then go over to the press here in a minute. So this is left way longer just because I can't stick a tiny little, 1/8 inch piece in the press brake to bend. So I'll bend it, scribe it again, go over to the bandsaw and cut it short. But it gets welded on somewhere, like that, and then like that. So the license plate sits behind it. So now I've got a piece of angle iron in the bottom die of the slag press brake just to close up that throat a little bit. I've got my scribed line. I put these 2 dots in here in the plasma cutter so I know where it needs to be, because I don't have a fancy back gauge or anything. So I'll scribe my line where it needs to be, stick it in the press brake, lower it down until we're on the line, or connecting the 2 dots. I prefer the line because I used a square to do those. So now we're on it, a little bit of tension. And then what I'm going to do is take my speed square, combination square here. And I have 2 parallel edges here. So I have the tip that's parallel to this face of the square itself. I can stick that on my die, kind of rock it until I feel where it's right, and then check where I'm square in the press brake. So I take a little bit of pressure off because I wasn't square there. But there, I check it and I'm good. So now I can either, this is such a thin part that I really don't want to use air over hydraulic. So I'm just gonna go ahead and manually do it. I have no idea where any of my handles are to do this. So I'm going to reach over here and not find what I'm looking for. So I'm just gonna keep going. And I'm watching it. I just bottomed out in that. In theory, we're at 90 now. If I go a little bit more, I bring it past 90 for the spring back. Go ahead and raise my press up, pull the part out, give her a check, and we're square. Now, of course, I missed a step here, and that was to put a piece of cardboard over this bottom die in lieu of die film. I don't have anything that's that fancy, but it is what it is. So we can always go back over and sand that down again. Now for this piece, this is going to be interesting because I have to offset these 2 tabs to clear a part on the jerry can. That's how my other one was designed for the New Mexico plate. And I'm going to do it out of aluminum because I don't know why. So I need to figure out where I want to do these scribe marks on this one to put in the press. And given my design choice here, I need to figure out where it's going to weld to, so it's going to be right there. Scribe it here and here, so that's going to be my first bump, if you will, on the press brake. Probably to, a few degrees. I'd probably say 10 degrees to offset it. I'm not an engineer or anything, so. Awkward laugh. And then we're going to offset that line, I don't know, call her an 1/8? No, call her a 1/4. So scratch that, transfer our line down, totally eyeballing it, because again, I'm sick and I don't really care. Just kidding, I do, but I'm totally comfortable eyeballing this. And obviously, if this was like a precision part, I should probably do it the right way. So I need a 3rd hand at some point. I'm waiting on that to come in the mail. Just kidding. So there's our other scribe mark on the back side. Except I'm pretty sure I just did that wrong because I need it to be I did do that wrong. So, yeah, I did do that wrong. So I need to flip these because I need to offset the bend to the other side. It happens. So, little and we'll call that good. Flippity floppity. Flippity floppity, get off my property. Just kidding. And pinchy pinchy and scribe. And scribe. And scribe. So that's not the ones that I want. And what's going to happen is I'm going to forget that. So I'm going to grab a Sharpie and make sure that I don't forget that. Apparently the only Sharpie that I have handy is my Extendo Sharpie. So let's take a look at this again. This is front because my notch, or my registration, and I want not that one or that one. And I want not that one or that one. So we want to bend it there, bend it there. And that should give me my offsets. Do I want to bend or do I want to go cut? Shit, I guess I'll go bend. All right, so back over at the bending station here. My friend Rodney described my shop as American Pickers meets Hoarders, and he's not wrong. But is it really hoarding if your stuff is cool? I don't think so. So again, this gets a little tricky because the bottom die is so shallow, but she'll be fine, I think. Do I have a better way to do this? I have this guy, and I don't have its mate. I have a bunch of homemade dies, not what I need. Is this wide enough? That's not wide enough. Okay. So I guess we're doing it that way. I don't like that. And again, I'm skipping the cardboard, whatever. Let's think about this one more time. Yes, they'll bend that way and then, okay, good. So you can always catch a little bit of light and line your scribe marks up on the bottom or the top die like that. Hold it, pressure down until it touches, and now it's held in position. We're gonna grab an angle finder just because I want to make sure that when I flip, well, I guess it doesn't matter because I'm not walling it. I don't have the right dies to do this. I'm a professional, I tell you. Go ahead and make sure this part's square in the die, which it's not. Imagine that. A little bit less pressure on there. A bit less of the old tonnage. Okay, let's see. Are we square? Come on. We'll call that good. Except that looks wrong. Given the bottom gap, I'm just going to go with the gap and wing it and go off my scribe mark. So we'll go ahead and do that. Bump the tube out there. Yep. 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 And we'll flip it over. Open her up. Stick it back in there. Run it down. And I probably could have done this in the vise, I'll be honest. Hold pressure in. Until we're flat. And I'm silly enough to stick it in the vise to flatten those out, because those got a little wonky. She got a little bend in them. But good enough, it's offset. Okay. To the bandsaw. So I also like to use my mill vise for straightening stuff or flattening it when it gets all wonkied. Oh, except I need to pull that out. Well, I guess it just moved itself. Okay, well, kind of forgot about that little piece in there. So we'll stick that in there. We'll give her a little good old crimpity crump. Yeah, that's a jog bend. It's great. Yeah, we could have just bent this in the vise here. Because, yeah, they're not square at all. I think I got the black lung paw. That's the benefit of aluminum. It's supple, easy to manipulate. Okay, now we got scratches, but that's fine. A little Scotch-Brite should fix that at some point. Let's just do that now. As I do this on the mill vise, my first term machining instructor's head's about to explode. Excuse me. With this Scotch-Brite to erase all of our sins. There we go. Yeah, it's not gonna be perfect, but neither is that Jeep. So I think we're good. We'll hit the backside while we're at it. This mill vise has been drilled, milled, spilled, dropped. This mill is not exactly amazing. It actually is. It's actually very straight. But it's $1,000 mill. Like, I can't complain, right? And now to the bandsaw. Could I probably have done this with, I don't know, a hacksaw blade, a pair of tin snips? Probably. Is it as cool as a bandsaw? No. This thing was made in, what, 1941? 1941. This thing saw us through World War II. I can control the speed on it, and I have a chart here that shows what speeds and feeds to run on asbestos sheets. Can you even get that anymore? I don't think so. Anyway, I have to run a phase converter for this machine, so it's going to get a little bit loud, but that happens. Light. Push stick. I don't like that. Pair of pliers, maybe. Pair of pliers. All right, now for the fun part, welding. The part that everyone wants to do. Yeah, I just sharpened my tungsten on the dirty gas belt with a drill. Ooh, probably shouldn't have said the ASS word. I use a drill. Keeps it nice and concentric on the tungsten. Keeps my fingers from getting charred. So we take that out. Some people blunt their tips. I'm not welding for X-ray certifications here, so I don't. I like them sharp. Prefer the way the arc feels from there. I run a normal gas lens. I don't have Fupa cups. I have a few Pyrex cups. They're handy for some things, but I like my old setup. Old Lincoln Square Wave. But I have to make sure that everything's set correctly because my daughters like to come over here and turn every knob that's on it. So I'm not spot welding, but that's off. Pre-flow's good. Pulser's off. Crater fill's off. Start current is off. I don't need that. AC, continuous high frequency for aluminum. TIG, remote controlled. 2-step, I'm not 4-stepping it. Balance on my AC. Post flow is low because I don't like wasting gas. I'm not welding for x-rays. I'm just stick, that doesn't matter. So yeah, it's gonna get loud. This chair is super awesome. It was it was $5. It has hydraulic cylinder in it, so you can raise it to a comfortable position wherever you want. I'm gonna use 40, 49, 43, 16th inch, because that's what I have. Well, I have some 40, 43 as well. I just have a lot of this 49, 43. And my friend Brian swears that this is the best alloy for 53, 56, which, now I'm thinking about it, it's not. For 50, 52, I need 53, 56 on 5000 series aluminums. I'm gonna see if I have some. I do have some 16th inch 53, 56, and I've also slipped since last time I've TIG welded aluminum. So I might be completely wrong, and in my advice, it would be best to look at the Hobart or any other filler wire recommendation chart, because there's a lot of alloys of aluminum and there's a lot of alloys of filler wire. You can Google that. That is not 1/16th inch 53, 56. That's like 3/32. But it is 53, 56, so we'll run with that. So we're gonna get some Scotch-Brite, break the glaze. I'll be right back. Okay, so I missed a step before I started cleaning with Scotch-Brite. Acetone. Get the grease off of it. You can see grease. So when welding aluminum or welding with anything TIG, cleanliness is next to godliness. So now we can Scotch-Brite, degrease again, get all the schmuckus off of there. My wife hates that word and I use it as frequently as possible because of that. At least that's our up. So now we're going to degrease right there where we're going to be welding. It's already been Scotch-Brite, we can hit it again. A bit more acetone. I like these bottles. I think this one came from McMaster Carr. It's a Nalgene. I seem to recall all of like the hippie people drank Nalgene water bottles when I was growing up before like Stanley and Yeti took over. So, okay, sunglasses off. Make sure the welding hood is set to an appropriate shade. Make sure it's set to weld with a short delay. Okay. I'm gonna turn it on. Probably gonna go, I don't know, 120 amps sounds kind of good to me, so we'll run with that. Again, that information is all over the internet. You can just look it up. Got our tungsten, got our foot pedal, got our part. We're gonna set it on there. Gonna come in like that. Give her a little tickety-tackety. So with that, I have no idea if that's going to block out the license plate. I don't really care. When I came in flat, pointed into my joint, pointed heavier at the thicker piece because this is 1/8 inch and that's 16th inch. So we held it like that. Eased into the pedal until we got the arc established. Gave her a little 1-2, a little blurp. And now it's on there. It's tacked. It's really hard to tack aluminum. It's really hard to tack with a TIG unless the fit up's like real nice. So, square, bigger square because the little square is not going to reach. Okay. I'm going to call that square with the world. I'm going to come back in there. Attack the other side. Leave a little bit of wire because I got a gap there. So now, we're going to eyeball it for the gap. Looks pretty good to me. I'm going to go a little bit tighter than I would normal because it's going to pull when I weld it. And maybe I bring the camera over here so you can actually see what I'm doing. So I think as long as I don't move the part, the camera should see what I'm getting after here. I used to have a flex head. This one's not a flex head. I miss the flex head. So I'm going to dry run to make sure that I can travel that distance with my torch. I'm going to run a long stick out. I lost dexterity in my fingers, so I can't feed the wire like I used to. Alright, that should burn up and that should be good. Ready? Step, stab, step, stab, step, stab, step, stab, step, stab, step, stab. So I just touched the base metal right there. So I touched my base metal there a few times. And I continued. Should I have continued? No, I should have stopped and I should have cleaned my surface and dressed my tungsten. Not a critical part. It's not, you know, a burst plate adapter on a high-end drag car. So we'll call that good. It's also been like months since I welded. Clean her a little bit. There she is. Well, the time has officially come to swap out my beloved New Mexico plate for the Utah plate. Got my emotional support animal. Say hi, Sven. And remember how this goes together. There's a jerry can wrench down in there. Forgot I even had one of these in here. So it looks like when I did the offset bend on this one as well, I didn't do enough because there's washers back there. So I guess I didn't even need to do it on the aluminum one, but and now that I'm in the grass, I'm going to drop all of this hardware. That's just how it be sometimes. Oh. but it's too nice of a day not to just go work in the shade. Guess we'll do this one at a time. Such a good looking plate. Oh well. And gotta get the stickers. Pelican case with all of the registration information. And hopefully the state of Utah didn't change the size of their stickers. That'd be a little bit embarrassing. All right, we're legal. Spenny, do you want to go for a ride now that we're legal?